Hey everyone, and welcome to 1.21 Gigawatts. I am Peter, and that over there's Matt.
Yep. What's up?
Uh, we, we talk about movies on this show, new movies. This one's, it's not completely brand spanking new, but it came out this year, and we decided to talk about it. It's available at home now, and we wanted to give it a watch, and we're also going to take a little bit of credit, because technically, this is a vault movie. And what I mean by vault movie is that for 1.21 in Flux, folks, our patrons, can submit movies in the $5 tier to a to-do list called the Vault. And every so often we'll pick one, and we'll do that on 1.21 in Flux. Or maybe we'll pick four for the vote on Patreon that month. But someone actually submitted this to the Vault, which, I mean, it didn't really need to be.
Happenstance.
Because
Yeah.
we were wanting to do it anyway, but our Patreon board now did submit it, so technically this kind of, even though it's not really for Gigawatts, it's more for Influx, but this, have it, there you go, you get it. So anyway,
Hey, there you go. Cool.
we're talking about Ingrid Goes West, which is a film starring Aubrey Plaza and Elizabeth Olsen. Aubrey Plaza plays a character who is an obsessed, crazy person who stalks people that she finds on Instagram.
Don't bury the lead, Pete.
That is what it is. So we'll start spoiler free, and we will warn you before we go into spoilers, somewhere in the middle. And there you go. So I really wanted to see this. When I saw the trailer and I'd heard what it was about, I like Aubrey Plaza a lot. I quite like Elizabeth Olsen, and I was like, yeah, I want to see this. I want to see the hijinks that this might become. So she actually has like her previous victim, if you will, at the start of the movie, and that quickly quickly deteriorates, and she spends a little bit of time in a mental hospital, gets out, and basically finds her new crush, her new Instagram bae. Oh, I just use bae. Ugh, I hate myself.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
I hate myself. It's a movie. This whole movie's about being.
If you have a stalker, does that make you a stalkie? Like, how does this work? Like, for reals?
Sure, the victim. I think victim works.
Yeah, I guess. But, victim sounds so harsh. Like, yeah, later. Like what she did to the first girl at her wedding with the mace. That was like, yeah, she was a victim. Elizabeth Olsen's character, not so much a victim at the beginning.
Well, yeah, at the beginning, sure. But let's keep things in perspective here. Yeah. Also, that opening scene with the wedding, the previous girl had a fantastic C-bomb. That set me up for quite a ride. But she goes west because Elizabeth Olsen's character, her new crush on Instagram, lives out in Los Angeles. So she goes out there, gets a place to live, and it's basically the story of her stalking her, sort of finding things out about her and kind of integrating her into her life, making it look like it's an accident, like, oh, I found your dog that was lost, but she actually stole the dog.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing.
She stole the dog. It's kind of like Single White Female if it had a sense of humor.
Hell, they even referenced that at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the movie. That's the idea. So that is as much plot I think you want to give away without spoilers, or any jokes for that matter.
Yeah.
So Matt, what did you think of it? What did you think of Ingrid Goes West?
So like you, not that I was looking forward to it, but this was a movie that I'd been hunting down to watch. Like they made it kind of difficult for me to get on Blu-ray. I had to jump through some hoops, and so expectations were pretty high going in, and I was let down because this was a movie where I was forced to spend 90 minutes with people I could not stand, and I don't know if you've ever had to do that in real life. I am very adverse to it. If you can tell, I have a temper.
I'm not fond of it. I don't have a temper. I just go very quiet and try to leave as quickly as humanly possible.
See me. I have to make a big statement, which also speaks to my poor raising at the hands of my dad. So yeah.
Jesus, man, that's getting really personal very quickly.
Hell.
I didn't love it either. I think there's moments I really like. I think Aubrey Plaza is fantastic in it. I think
the whole cast is to varying degrees of good. She's the bar though. You know?
I think my problems with the movie are it's not actually as wacky as I was hoping it would be, and maybe that's partly on me. But it really feels like for this premise to work, it had to be a bit more farcical. Not an extreme amount, but more than it is. As it is, it actually kind of plays like it's almost this weird dark drama, but not enough where it's got this weight. Because the ending, I think, has some really problematic messaging. So obviously we'll talk about that in spoilers.
Massive problematic. We got to that point, and I looked at my wife. I was like, "Did that really just happen?"
Yeah,
and she's like, "Yeah, this movie sucked." Put that on the poster.
And like, and again, there's good moments. I think the premise itself is a fine idea.
Yeah.
I don't think they really knew how to end it. Is the first thing, and the problem is that. So obviously Aubrey Plaza is a deranged character. She is, she's not well. She needs help.
No.
She's not supposed to be relatable. Beyond maybe some, surface level stuff. Like if you have trouble making friends, maybe you can relate to her in some way because of that.
Yeah. But even then, like to be the protagonist, you don't necessarily have to be likable.
Oh sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we can see her faults and we know what they are from the beginning.
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah, it's absolutely clear.
You want to root for her because she does get so invested in Elizabeth Olsen's life, and her character's name's Taylor. And on the surface, it seems like, oh, cool, maybe this time she did find a real friend and not just someone that was a one-way relationship.
But here's the thing though, is that I think this movie works much better if I like the person who's the victim. If I liked Elizabeth Olsen's character, I think, oh wait a minute. I would feel bad that she's being duped, and then later on in the movie, because no spoilers, but eventually it's going to come out how she, found her and all the rest of it. Like
the truth is revealed.
At that point, I should feel kind of gutted that the friendship's breaking down, and I should want it to continue anyway, and for her to maybe get over it or something like that. Which, admittedly, it would be a little bit far fetched in some ways. I agree, but it is a movie, and I feel like it almost plays too realistic to the point where it's kind of dull.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
Well, once we get to the part where they're taking characters out to the desert, it's kind of like, whoa, what are we doing? This took a turn.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I almost feel like stuff like that should be more in the movie if we're going to go full comedy with it. The problem is, though, is it takes itself fairly seriously a lot of the time. That when it does things like that, it feels like, oh god, what are we doing now? It's like
exactly.
It's kind of
off tone.
It's off tone. The tone just isn't quite right, and it really bugs me. It's a shame, but that's the thing. You don't like. I mean, she's not unlikable per se. Like, she's not the worst person in the world.
So a little bit back into my introspective. This is a person that I would not touch with a 10-foot pole. Like this whole Instagram influencer, where they basically give her free stuff to shill on her Instagram because she gets X amount of likes. And
thousands of followers, all the rest of it.
Yeah, and so, I look at trends and stuff, and it's kind of like, yeah, no. I'm not doing that because it's cool, quote unquote. And I have a reaction to this, and I'm looking at the character going, well, why is she so special? And there's nothing really about Elizabeth Olsen's character that makes her like why would girls and young girls want to be this girl? Like, it never connected to me.
But of course there are, though. As much as you don't get it, there absolutely is people who follow characters like this on Instagram and obsess over.
I know, but I feel like in the movie, outside of her having the cool handbag and whatnot, I didn't get why exactly did Ingrid gravitate towards her? I never felt that.
It's just dead.
See?
but here's the thing. I think there is some good commentary to be made here about
big time.
Surface level stuff and about just the soulless capitalist sort of personality that's going on here, which is kind of ironic given that her character and her husband are these we eat organic stuff. We go to the restaurant where the waiter will say, oh, what is your what was it, deep thought today or something like that, and it's and the waiter's like, oh, today it's how my father mistreated me as a child. And it's like, okay, oh, that was deep, okay. They go to these kind of places. It's all this kind of thing. But and it kind of tries to do something with it at the end. And I can kind of see what it's trying to do at the end. Unfortunately, it also has this negative message that it's doing at the same time, which I don't even think is intentional, but I think they were actually being very ignorant of the message they were sending out. They were being willfully unaware of the negative aspect of their ending, and it was really troublesome. And we'll talk about that in spoilers, of course. So, Yeah, it's kind of it's an awkward watch. There's a couple of moments where it is so cringeworthy, and it's meant to be cringeworthy, but it's so cringeworthy, and and because I don't like any of the characters, I just feel like I'm awkwardly being cringy with people that I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There was like these like that was the one criticism I remember hearing about Silver Linings Playbook, which was a movie that I really liked. But one of them, I can't remember where I'd heard it, but there was a reviewer that said it's like these are people that I don't want to be around, so it made it hard to enjoy the movie. Whereas at that when I'd seen it, it didn't bother me. I fully get that in this one.
Yeah, you can have like flawed characters. You can have characters you disagree with, and they can still carry a movie. You can still be interested to be around them. This is what I always say: a character needs to be, and talk about protagonists here. Not every character, of course. The extras don't need these qualities, but a protagonist needs to be one of two things, possibly both, but one of two things is needed: either be interesting or likable.
Right.
And I don't think, and Aubrey Plaza is to an extent, but all the other main cast are not likable, and they're definitely not interesting.
Oh, I thought her landlord, Dan, who is played by O'Shea Jackson.
Okay, he's a bit more interesting, but I don't want to talk about him till spoilers, because everything I like about him is complete spoiler joke territory.
Yeah.
So
but just from the time you meet him, he's kind of got this vibe to him, and I don't know. I really liked him in Straight Outta Compton, so I might be carrying that in, on the actor. But
yeah, and he's there to kind of like facilitate the positive side of the message that the end of the movie has.
Yeah.
But it, like I say, it's murkied by the negative side of it. But that's I think that's as far as we can go without spoilers. So I will say, the cast are mostly pretty good. Like, I like most of the actors that I'm familiar with here. It's
they do a pretty good job.
The characters,
the story, though.
The characters in the story are not in any way, I don't know, enjoyable, I guess. So it's kind of a hard mix. So full spoilers for Ingrid Goes West from this point on. You have been warned. Okay, so let's talk about my favourite part of the movie. So you mentioned the neighbour, the landlord character who lives across the street. Now it gets obviously a lot more detailed with this, but as soon as she meets him, he hands her his business card, and I noticed the font immediately. The font on this card is the green font from the film Batman Forever, and I'm like, that's really specific. Why does he have that? And then he mentions a screenwriter, and then mentions that he's writing a new Batman movie that no one's asked him to do this. He's just writing a Batman script.
That's the clarifying thing, because I'm going through when he first says it, I was like, there's no way Warner Brothers is going to this unknown guy to write a new Batman movie, no matter how much he loves Batman. So, and then you come to find out that it's this passion project for him, and he really loves Batman.
He calls his car the Batmobile. She at one point she's upset him, so she buys him like a Batman Forever jumper or hoodie, and he's already owns it.
She's like, but I spent like $400 on it. He's like, I spent $800 like 4 years ago. Like, get with the system.
No. He says he spent $8,000 on his car, which she damaged.
$8,000. That's right.
Yeah, because that's what she was trying to make it up for. Hey, I spent like $400 on this thing to try to find it. Yeah, well, you caused $8,000 of damage.
So it's kind of, we're not equal.
Yeah, and when she asked to borrow the truck, the condition of her getting it is that she goes to his table read because his Catwoman pulled out.
Yeah.
And by the way, later on in the movie, when she needs to have a boyfriend to go to this pool party, she has to quickly seduce him. So she does that by taking him out on a date and then having sex with them with a Catwoman mask on and a Catwoman t-shirt on and like claws. Which, again, funny stuff. He's yelling, like, she's on top of him. He's like, say Gotham needs me. She's like, Gotham needs you. And it's like, this is like... That said, my favourite Batman joke in the entire film is when they're going to the pool party and she's giving him all these rules as they're going in. It's like, don't do this, don't mention this, don't do that. And then she's like, and absolutely no Batman talk. And then he responds with, what am I supposed to talk about?
Yeah.
That was really funny.
I've gotten that lecture from my wife before. Like, this is what you do. We're meeting these people. Don't bring up comic books. Don't bring up Star Wars. Like, And then I'm like, well, what am I supposed to talk to people about? Because those are my go-tos. So what do you want? But yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I feel like he's the most likable character. So you're kind of I wanted to see more of him, and he's not actually in it that much. So that was a letdown for me. Like I thought he was gonna play like a bigger part.
Yeah, I mean, he's there a decent amount, but he's overshadowed by the amount we see of everyone else.
Yeah,
In like Taylor, Elizabeth Olsen's character, her husband, her brother. Her brother was the worst character in the movie. I hated him every second he was on screen. But
yep.
he's supposed to be a douchebag. Don't get me wrong, but he's just yeah. That's the thing. He's meant to be this villain, threatening the ruse. He's looked
Uh-huh.
on her phone and he knows what she's done and why she's here and how she she's just basically stalking his sister on Instagram. But he wants to
Yep.
like blackmail her for money every month and she can't afford it. And
Yeah.
I think like as much as I think he's a dick and as much as I hate him, it doesn't work that well because he is completely unlikable. But then at the same time, so is we're not rooting for
But
Ingrid. Like
so outside of her kidnapping their dog, I mean, outside of like she wasn't. I don't feel like she broke any laws. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't this violent stalker. She wasn't. So worst case scenario, she finds out and they laugh about it because I mean you feel like they're kind of good friends at this point. So I felt like
I don't know. I feel like yeah, you can say that, but we see her staking out her place so she can walk out at the same time that she's on the street. We see her
yeah.
following her. Like it's unhealthy, Matt. It doesn't matter if she didn't
Oh no,
technically
I'm not
cross a
saying it's
line.
unhealthy, but I'm talking like the evidence on her phone. You know what I mean? Like it's not like she videoed herself doing that. You know what I mean? Like
Well, she had photos
so.
of like lots of her possessions around her house and stuff. That's
Oh,
what I
that's
saw.
right. That's right.
So
I spaced on that
so
part.
there was creepy stuff there.
There
Um,
was.
but no, so it's a frustrating film because I like in theory what it's trying to do with a lot of things.
Mhm.
It's just it gets when she's actually been friends with her and they actually have that day out in the car and they
Yeah.
go and get drinks and they go dancing for a bit and then they come back and they're drinking by the pool. That whole like, extended sequence of all that stuff
Yeah.
is mostly kind of dull.
Yeah.
Like
Like you kind of they kind of teased it in the trailer that they become these fast friends, but again, it's only over a day. So like, how friendly are these girls really? Like, so yeah. So I felt kind of like, yeah, cool. They're meeting and talking and they're being friends, but I never got the. I never didn't feel that Taylor just wasn't using her for a ride out there.
yeah.
Because they're going from L.A. to Joshua Tree, and it feels.
The small moments I liked were like when she says, "Oh, can this guy take a photo of us?" and she's like, so you can see in Aubrey's face she's so excited that she's going to be in a
Yeah.
photo with her, on her Instagram. Like
Yep.
that those small moments work, but honestly, these characters are so dull and uninteresting, and borderline. In fact, not even borderline. Some of them are just flat out annoying. But like,
Irritating.
it's hard. So and then when it does become awkward and she starts to like get jealous because she's kind of friends with this new girl that her brothers brought with them.
Yeah, which Taylor starts doing what Ingrid was doing basically. She's just using this to get to somebody more influential than herself.
Mm.
And then she cuts ties to Ingrid, which then upsets Ingrid and takes it up to the next level. And yeah, and then that character shows up and I'm just like, what world? I never want to meet this world in the real life. Like, if this is based off of real things, I'm staying far away from it as I can.
And then it's just that, so then the brother has the whole blackmail thing, and then Ingrid like pays some random guy to punch her in the face so she can go to the landlord and say, "Hey, her brother beat me up. We have to put on balaclavas, take your gun, and go and like rough him up and tell him to stop and leave us alone." And I get that it's supposed to be funny that at no point does the brother like act scared. Like he's got a hood on and he's got his hands handcuffed, but the whole time he's like he's being just as smart and smart ass as he always has been, and he knows who's taking him. He's not like stupid. The problem is though is I don't like him so much that I'm just annoyed that he's being a smart ass. I don't even care that he's in this situation. But honestly, again, this whole scene where they take him out of the desert and it turns into this bit of a fight with the two guys, it's not that entertaining, it's not that exciting, and it's not that funny.
No, I mean, I feel like they try to get by that it flips that this guy that was, basically handcuffed, detained, ends up beating up the boyfriend, with a tire iron and whatnot. But yeah, it felt like he was trying to get unnecessarily dark, but it didn't earn any of it.
Yeah,
Because again, he doesn't feel scared. I mean, I don't care if I know who's taking me out to the middle of the desert with a hood on my head. Like that's some scary crap, like on a universal level. And especially with this dude's drug history, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I think they were going for more of a dark comedy vibe with the movie, but honestly, I don't think it worked. I mean, very rarely did I feel like it worked.
No. The part I did laugh was like when you mentioned that she goes up to the guys playing, like, I think they're playing basketball, and she's like, if I give you guys $400, will you punch me in the face? And they look at her like she's this nut lady, like, yeah, like, no, we're not. Like, you're crazy, lady. And then, it ends up taking some extra steps. So, like, I thought that was funny, just their reaction to things. But there's not enough of that in the movie to get you by from seeing the scene. No. Now, I would have actually liked to see that, like, actual normal people, like, emotionally stable, reacting to what's going on. Because I even felt like Wyatt Russell's character, Taylor's husband, I felt like he wasn't that far off from a normal character. So, like, when you get to his reactions, it's like, well, yeah, that's how you would react. But you never get to, once they cross that line and they find out what she did, you only really see him over the phone. Or you don't hear him. You don't even see him. And it loses its meaning, to me at least.
Yeah, like I say, I think the biggest problem in the movie is that we don't necessarily like the people she's stalking that much, so it's hard to really kind of, and then it's not very funny that often because the tone's actually a little bit darker than what you may be expecting. And it's kind of going for that loneliness, and if it wants to go for the loneliness, then it should have went full drama. It should have went full, we are watching a disturbed person doing disturbing things, and it's, this deep, dark sort of look at your psyche.
Kind of like Spring Breakers was, right? Well, there's satire to Spring Breakers, but that kind of
maybe I was thinking more. I was thinking more American Psycho almost.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Like
going for something along those lines. Instead, I don't know. It's just the balance just isn't quite there, and it makes a lot of it fall flat. So let's talk about the ending, because the ending's a big thing. Yeah. So,
I wanted to touch on social media too, and like I like that it kind of has this takedown on social media. Like, you can feel like you know people because you follow them online, but you really don't know who they are deep down. That goes for both ways. Ingrid doesn't know who Taylor really is, and Taylor doesn't know who Ingrid is, yet they act like they're friends, and it leads to this whole controversy.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
So we see that Ingrid's money's running out, and she can't even charge her phone. She can't do anything. She's trying to message, because obviously after the whole fight in the desert, even the landlord, he's in the hospital. He's pissed at her. He's not responding to her. But she's can't even charge her phone, and her phone's her life. We see that throughout the movie. She's like desperate to always be with her phone, and she actually sneaks over to a party that's happening. And this is already after everyone's found out about her, and they don't want her around. So she dresses as a ghost with a wig on, and just basically sneaks in so she can charge her phone at one of the outlets. But someone steps on the sheet that she's wearing, and she ends up like coming out of it, and everyone sees her. And this confrontation happens. She gets to talk to Taylor briefly, and try to explain, "Hey, I thought we were friends." And again, it all feels very desperate, but Taylor's like, "We were never friends. You're some weirdo. You're some pathetic loser who stalked me from Instagram." And Joe, the funny thing is throughout this whole scene, she's humiliated in front of everyone. Then she has her say to her face, "You're pathetic. We were never friends." I actually thought to myself, the only realistic scene that follows this up is her trying to kill herself.
Really? You went straight there.
And I thought, like, that is really what I feel would happen with this person. She's that unstable. This means so much to her. I feel like that is the natural follow-up. And I was actually surprised they actually did it. I was surprised that the next scene was her trying to kill herself. And I was like, okay. Again, I don't think if it's the tone of the movie. Like, I feel like the tone's kind of all over the place. It's kind of this weird, murky, kind of dark humor thing. And I could see what it was going to do with it. right? So she ends up, she goes home and she's recording a video. She's never really done this before. She's always been photos, and she's recording
Yeah.
a video for her followers where she's like, "Hey, I wanted to do a real video where I'm actually just me. I'm not the fake version that I've been posting about for years or months or whatever. This is me. I am Ingrid, and I just want to say this and say goodbye. And this is the end of me. Blah, blah, there was little bit more in there, but that was the gist of it. And she like downed some pills, downed some booze, and she posts it. And I'm like, okay, so and then she wakes up in the hospital. The landlord kind of forgives her. He saw her video, called 911. That's what saved her. She's in the hospital. He's there. They're joking about him having these little scooters, a Batmobile, and so on.
Yeah.
Sure, all fine. And he's like, "Hey, you went viral. Like your video, like everyone's like wishing you well, and everyone kind of gets you." So here's the thing: there's two sides to this. The positive side to this is what it's saying is that when she actually stopped trying to be a fake person and just was herself, that's when people actually connected to her.
Mm-hmm.
That is a positive message. That is a good message. That's great. Unfortunately, this ending also carries another message. It also carries the, hey, if you feel like you're not getting attention, try and kill yourself and you will get that attention.
And you'll get that validation that you've been looking for by being that fake person.
I was legitimately shocked at this final scene. When she's like, because it ends here, there's not anything after this where she kind of analyses it, or when he says, hey, but you shouldn't have done this, or whatever. It ends with her smiling at the phone, and she's got all these likes and comments, and it goes to the credits. That's how it ends. I couldn't believe it ended that way.
No. Yeah, that was a rough ending. Like, when they showed her in the hospital bed, I was like, I hope this didn't go viral. And then he pops in and was like, oh yeah, you went viral. And I was like, oh, that's the last thing this girl needs.
Yeah, I
get that we're supposed to read it like a tragedy, but I also feel like you said it up at the top of this, it reinforces the wrong message.
Yeah, because I think the first thing I said there, where it's like, no, she finally became herself, it showed herself, and that's what people responded to. I think that is the message. I think that's the message they wanted to have. But I feel like they never actually let her realize that she's been this messed up. They never really it never feels like she understands what she was doing was wrong.
Yeah, she's absolutely not self-aware.
Yeah,
like, at all.
At the end of the movie, it just feels like she stumbled into what she wanted without understanding anything. It doesn't feel like she's grown really at the end of the movie.
No.
And it feels like there's not really an arc like there should be. She's still just as sick when she wakes up than she was before. There's like no improvement.
Yeah, but now people like her, Pete. So.
She got what she wanted. It's fine. And if it wants to have that really bittersweet ending where that's the point, I don't think it even goes far enough to sell as that.
No.
I think they're supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be happy for her that she's got these.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, that's the thing. I read it as a tragedy. You know, like oh no, this poor girl, she's on the wrong track still. Like, I don't. Oh yeah. I don't want to say it was infuriating, but it was definitely irritating.
I would definitely say this is a movie that I would say absolutely only adults should be watching. The thought of a teenager watching this who's maybe unstable is terrifying to me. Yeah,
and you feel like it was kind of marketed towards that demo, you know, like
was it? Is it? What was the rating on this?
I mean, it's rated R, right? But I feel like I remember seeing this in front of movies it shouldn't have been in front of, like the trailer.
Okay, I see.
You know what I mean?
I'm actually in awe of the just how misguided the ending of this is, and I feel like I know what they were going for. I think they were going for that positive message, but the fact that she doesn't really feel like she learns anything, the fact that she still feels as ill, which would be fine if it is going to play like a tragedy and she's just even worse than she was before. That's fine. That's a valid way to end your story, but it has to be clear to the audience that this was a tragedy. This was a bad ending, and it doesn't end that way.
No. Not at all. It's kind of like there was that Black Mirror episode with Bryce Dallas Howard that kept reinforcing, she keeps doing things for likes.
Yeah.
That is how you should handle it. You know what I mean?
Because that that ended with her realizing that no, I'd rather be real. And because you think at the end when he comes in the scooter, I'm like, oh, she's going to realize that he's actually a real person who's there for her and just likes her. It's not a phony. It's not Instagram. He just likes her.
Right. But as you notice, her phone's her life, so she starts paying more attention to her phone than she does for the actual person. That cared
actually,
about her.
you know what? The best. One simple change that would have fixed the entire ending. He says, "Hey, I brought something you'd want to see." He goes to hand her a phone, and then she sort of went, "No, I don't need that anymore." Yeah. That's your ending. Mm-hmm. That's the simplest way to fix it.
But yeah, man, I was so, I don't want to say excited, but this was a movie I've been looking to watch, just based off of the cast and even the trailer, because I thought there'd be at least, if I didn't enjoy what was going on, or if I got annoyed, at least the humor would be there. And then the humor really wasn't there either, so it was a lose-lose on my part.
Yeah, it was kind of a mundane movie. There's ideas in there somewhere, there's glimpses of things, but unfortunately, it all kind of falls flat, because I don't think the script is developed enough, and then you have this problematic ending, which, again, I actually think is accidental, which is the worst kind of way of doing this.
Yeah,
but,
it's half-cocked or half-baked, however you want to say that.
But it accidentally has a much worse message than what it's trying to, and that is really bad. So no, I guess we'll rate the movie out of 10.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you think? What are you rating it? Ingrid Goes West out of 10. Is what I'll try to say.
Let me see, because I made notes after I had watched it.
Oh God.
So let me pull up my watch log. Yeah, so I gave this a 6.
Sexy.
That's in my notes. Yeah.
That's actually a bit higher than I was expecting, given your words, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, again, I liked the cast enough, and I felt like Ingrid, despite not liking the character, I feel like Aubrey Plaza did a really great job. So that gives it some. And same with Elizabeth Olsen. I mean, I generally like her in everything I've seen her in, even in Godzilla, where she didn't have much to do. I thought she was fine, but she really made me not like that character. Like, I've met girls like her, so I think that helps. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I have to go straight down the middle at 5. I was I think for every good idea it has, for every good actor it has, there is something else that counterbalances it and drags it down for me.
Yeah.
Whether it's the
two things. Yeah.
Meandering tone, the undercooked script, and then the problematic ending that I'm just not feeling at all. I think that ending's really troublesome. So, no. So So by all means, if you've seen the movie, let us know what you think of it in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fudge for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that over there. There'll be a link to that in the description, as well as some other important stuff. And otherwise, that's us. So there's at least one more Jigowatts coming this year. Not including the end of year top 10s, which we'll be doing, of course, close to New Year's, maybe just after New Year's, depending on how it lines up.
Yep.
But there's at least one more movie Jigowatts coming from me and Matt this year, which is looking like a winner from all the early buzz that I'm seeing online. And very possibly another Jigowatts from me and Connor, if Connor pulls his finger out of his ass and watches the movie.
Okay, I said that was a mixed metaphor, my friend.
You never heard that before?
Not finger, because you don't need your finger. I've heard you need to pull your head out of your ass, but not so you can see what's going on, but not pull your finger out of your butt so you can watch a movie. Like, I don't.
Yeah, just the idea you put your hand up your ass and use your hand to do the thing, so you need to put your hand out to press play.
It kind of seems to me like he's the type that got adept at using one hand.
Anyway, so that has been 1.2 on Jigowatts. So hopefully you had some fun with the discussion there. So yeah, thanks once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. I love you loads. Keep watching movies, and we'll see you next time.